Alright, what's up you guys? I'm going to do another video here on this topic of heroin addicts. And you know how when you're at certain workplaces, certain subjects come up even by initiated by somebody else and you add to it. So before I start the story, there was this guy I'm talking about, unlike other videos I was talking about. This guy happened to be some rednecky, stocky guy. Unlike other people who probably, cause you know what, when I make these videos too, I kind of say, fuck these other people that tell you how to be racist and not be racist, and how to deal with white people, black people, and how to deal with, and what attitude you tell, demand. Okay, this video is more like how people outside of YouTube here in places I work with have the nerve to demand how you should have an attitude about heroin addicts. Anyway, one of my things is I had this guy that I worked next to, and I had to explain him just why I don't have to give a fuck, because I was going to make a video about this too. I have this cousin that fucked his life up with that heroin and crack and all that. I wanted to make videos eventually later, because I started with these other ones. How if you're a black or white person watching, anything you have relatives that are doing, hey, that shit ain't on you. And hell yeah, I had, say, a cousin that fucked his life up. He went to prison for armed robbery. He made the news, and it was the last time I heard of him. In short, I'm still here, and what you sow, you sow what you reap in this world. You know what I mean? But when you do certain things, or if somebody tries to drag you into shit, you know, no matter who you are watching, the extremists of the other race have their eyes on you. They're waiting for you to fail. That's the only reason I'm making these videos. That it's not about being prejudiced against no other kind of race or anything like that. There's good people in everybody. Like I work with these real motley crew, some places, a lot of cool people. I know a lot of people that, yeah, they know damn well that, oh damn, this is shit I should have made a separate video about, but anyway, on with what I was going to say here. Anyways, what I was supposed to be talking about, this one dude, you know, we're talking about these different things, and it came up. I had this cousin that got into drugs and all that, why we don't have to give a shit. Me and one dude talking about. But there was this, like, rednecky kind of stocky dude, right? He, keep in mind, he's like a worker from an agency just like some of us. He ain't really nobody. Just because he goes to a church somewhere and he feels like he has to minister, he's one of narcissistic people that you don't bow down to him their way, whether it's scripturally correct or whatever. And he'll just say shit in a rude way to pick a fight with you, and you call him on it, and he goes, oh, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. I'm like, fuck you, who the fuck are you? You ain't trying to have a conversation with me, you're actually trying to pick a fight. I called him on, he was using the rhetoric of certain cults will do. And when you say something why you don't have a give a shit, one of the classic cult rhetoric, they'll say, you get smart with them. You're getting smart with them in defending yourself, because in your own heart you're feeling guilty. And thus, cults people that are involved in cults, and like this guy probably is one of them little so-called Christian cults, people that are involved in that like to try to hijack somebody's mind and act like the only reason they're saying what they're saying is like in a place like that, would in some cases, you know, some cases I punch this guy in his damn mouth or whatever. If I'm lucky, I might just get fined or a little bit of probation or something if I knock his ass out. You know, because I'm basically, you know, literally don't have no kind of felonies in that record. But anyway, yeah, I had a tendency to ramble on, so what I mean to do a video about it turns, there's so much in the truth, it's like hard. Anyway, what this guy actually said in one of the conversations, we're laughing at him too. He just turns to just me. He decides to pick me. He could have picked a couple of these other guys that were next to me, but for some reason he picks me and thinks I'm going to be intimidated. And he goes, and I'm asking him too. Okay, why did you pick me? Why not him or him? Or why don't you direct this not just to me, direct this to him, and so on too? Because we have the same attitude. But he looks at me with this stare and goes, I'm laughing my ass off talking about this. It's like, this is almost like what somebody would do on the internet when you run into a person. He goes, oh, do you think you're better than a heroin addict? So I'm like, so I tell him, in a lot of cases, yeah, I tell him I have this cousin that fucked his life up completely. And before he went to prison and all that, I used to see him places, and he's my age, right, and 40s, and he looked like he's damn near in the 70s. His face all shriveled up, but yet people present drugs. But anyway, this dude called himself, just because he goes to a church and ministers, I mean, he's a worker. I'm like, reality check, dude, you ain't a fucking missionary. He tried to say, he brags like, I was a missionary for 4 years, and he still calls himself a missionary. I said, well, you ain't no fucking missionary. You're like a worker, just working these jobs just like you and me, and just because you were attending something like that. But he called himself a missionary because outside here he ministers, and like he's ministering to me. Oh, are you better than drug addicts? Like, yeah, I said, hell yeah, I had certain people that I knew went to school with, they fucked their lives up. Hey, that's too fucking bad. I wasn't going to be dragged around with him. And he goes, oh, would you help somebody when they're drowning? And then I kind of joke with him and said, well, it depends who it is. I said, and then I might just, so all right, I'll just drag him out and then say, you're lucky, dude. I wasn't not going to do it. But another guy kind of chimed in a little bit. He laughed and said, he goes with me. And he goes, probably not. But, he had the gall to tell me, he points at me and says, you're the reason why this world is the way it is. And I'm like, me? What the fuck are you talking about? Me? Why? He says, because you won't help anybody. I said, hey, what the fuck do you want me to do? I said, these people either try to go into rehab on their own, or they are like a lot of these other people. They just, because they get out of jail and the courts make them go, and some of it works out and some of it don't. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, some of these people, hey, they try that shit once, and people haven't even learned for years. They see with their own eyes what this shit does. I mean, you're basically a slave to the drug daddy, whether the drug daddy is black or white. You know what I mean? And it dovetails into what I preach. People are using and encouraging racism and crying racism, as you call it, but there's both black and white people in there. And not to stick up for police, but these people that chant death to the police, because, yeah, maybe a few things happen that is wrong. The hypocrisy out there, too, all those that be chanting, like, death to the police, they don't have no problem with having their daddy put in there, a ruler, so to speak, a kind of thug-like rule, and everybody else kisses ass, like, and act like they're in with him, you know what I mean? Hey, the society out there wants obedient workers and obedient people busting their ass and breaking their back and passively accept all the bullshit, and be strong and smart enough to do the labor and do the paperwork, like I preached before. But then there's another part of society, not to stick up for police. Yes, there is things that go wrong in there, but the very people that want you to kiss the ass of these other kind of culture, if you don't kiss their ass, there's some of them that, yeah, they'd gladly want to replace the police or the military with their kind of thug-like hierarchy, you know what I mean? Like, some of them may be okay, but if you disagree or something like that, that literally will commit the same brutality that they accuse police of. But, yeah, I'm not allowed to say that either, am I? Like, you can have both people, both white and black, look at you, like right now, every time you make a video, even if I don't make a video and talk about certain things, you got two faces of a couple of different people of different races, they're going to look at you with the shape. You can already see them right now looking at you with the shape of their mouth, and even certain people that, if given an excuse, they're almost like a look on their face like, give me a fucking excuse and things will turn out real bad for you in a heartbeat and maybe get shot, you know. Some of these cowardly little, skinny little white kids too with their t-shirts and shorts, you know, they're pissed off because, you know, they don't want anybody getting stronger or smarter and walking by with a cocky look on their face. You get these little, shitty little wimps, you know, carrying their little guns and they pretend to be a gang and all that stuff too. People imitating the bad part of another race. I mean, people are so emphasized on racism that is real and chanting white supremacy, and then you get these. How do you talk about these other people without looking racist? Like these kids that they've never been in a ghetto in their life, right? You know that, and they're in these nice houses, spoiled little white kids, and then spoiled little like white girls driving mommy and daddy's car, right, playing like rap music, and they're doing like those girls that got published on that they published on Snapchat before they died. What, 2 out of 3 died, and they're all drinking vodka. You know, girls are doing it just as much as the guys now, and kill themselves but they get to kill somebody else. And girls like what I'm talking about are going around like in mommy and daddy's car playing gangster rap, and they're in spoiled little white girls and white boys in nice houses, people with nice cars. And they're pretending to be this shit, you know what I mean? Like anybody like that's black gives a shit. It's like, but like I'm just, hey, who am I to just talk? I'm just some person that worked next to just a real motley crew that I work next to. But there are some people, a lot of people out there, I don't care who you are, know damn well, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so, yeah, places I've been, like, so many people in Make a World. I ran into so many different people, like how so many different people to make a world. And people want you to, like, think just one way. And you're, like, on the side of these people, right? And you're going to sit there and say death to these people. Meanwhile, you're living that lie, and you got to sit there, if you're in their clique and their group, you got to sit there and take people's shit, you know. And they'll walk like they're badass on the street, but yet they're like, you might catch sight of some of it sometime and laugh or find out about it, act like they're all shit, like surround themselves with these different kind of people, and all they are is just to be in that clique, sit there and take people's shit and they're getting belittled and letting people talk down to them, and they think you don't know and you're never going to find out about it. Yeah, so many people like think you're born yesterday. Like you just can't like see shit, and then the stuff that you can see, you can only admit to it in certain places because it'll like bring you trouble. Everybody's afraid to outright say it. Just like when I was in college for a short time, you know, certain things you see on the internet, you're not allowed to talk about. It's always this one-sidedness. Yeah, what are you gonna say? Yeah, some things do happen wrong. It's like, oh, what do you got people that are for government, right? Say hail to whatever president and hail to police state, and then okay, if you want, then you go the other route, right? And you see some stuff that go around, fuck the government, fuck the police, like some of us do to a sense. And then what are you gonna do? Replace police and military and everything with this other thug state or worship Che Guevara, and like, which, oh yeah, like you get rid, you say, oh, death to the police and death to government, and you say, then yeah, if everything goes your way, that, oh, all your people that you replace the police with are, oh, that's different if they commit the same brutality or worse that you accuse police are, you know, I mean, like I'm a firm believer still that government on its own, you know, they're afraid it's going to collapse already, and you're going to have these different factions killing each other and fighting over whatever spoils are left. As it is, you know what I mean? Not like they're sticking up for the government either, but because I preach enough that there's that faction out there that the crowd, you know what I mean, that they're bossing different people at work and your people at workplace. Oh yeah, they're even if they believe in God, their God is they can talk down to you, and then they can speed down 911 when you're ready to punch them out or whatever the hell. You know, that's my idea. The people that worship government and police state, they think 911 is there for them so they can talk down to people and speed down 911 when they talk down to people and do all kind of shit. That if you don't shut up, if somebody don't like something what you said, they'll try to get you fired or even get you arrested and all that. And anybody, I don't care if you're black or white, you gotta watch out for some of your own and watch out for some of the other people too, and be smarter. You gotta be cunning like a serpent, and don't get dragged into shit. Don't get dragged down with somebody just like because you hate somebody. Get dragged into shit and become a fall guy. That's all I gotta say. People use you just to fuel their own bullshit. But we all know how this whole world works.